guys, this is the look for today. Let me zoom you guys. And it looks like a fall look, to be honest, but it's just a dramatic kind of copper looking eyes. I love the colors involved and it's pretty. So hope you guys enjoy this and I will talk to you guys later. So stay tuned. Okay guys, sorry. To save time, I put Urban Decay the Too Big Shadow Insurance. I put tape here and I also put Max Grease Paint Stick in Below Ground on, and I just smudged it out with the 217 brush. Alright, so the first pigment I'm going to use is called Copper Beam, and it looks like this in the cover. Really pretty, like, copper color. Not much way to explain it. And I'm going to use a little brush, little flat brush. I'm using the Sonia Kashuk small shader brush. And I'm putting this on dry because I have that cream base. And I'm just going to put it on the first half of the lid. And you can really see how that color just pops off that brown base. Right? So the half of the lid. And then, then I'm going to take this pigment in Heritage Rouge, and it's like a nice dark burgundy color. And I'm going to flip the brush over and get that on my brush. Again, dry. Excuse me. And I'm going to put that on the second half of the lid. When you're using these pigments dry, make sure you pat the color on first. I know I always say this, but it's true. Pat first and then blend. So as you can see, these colors are really similar. The Copper Beam looks more orangey though. So all the way to the tape, and then these colors really look seamless next to each other since they're so close. But if by chance they don't, just go ahead and blend them together, just kind of going back and forth. Alright, then I'm going to take the 222 brush, which is that tapered stiff brush, and I'm going to go in with the pigment called Deep Purple. This is a pro pigment. This is what it looks like. It's really dark. It's just a really deep plum color. And a little of this goes a long way. So I'm just going to swirl my brush in like this to the cap. And look how little bit is in there, but it goes a long way, like I said. Flick off the excess, and then I'm going to concentrate this on the outer corner. So I'm just going to go in circular motions on this outer corner. And since you have that tape there as a guide, it's okay if you go crazy. But concentrate in the outer corner and then slowly bring it in and above. And it's not going to really look purple. It hardly looks purple in the jar, but as you blend these all out, they're kind of all going to mesh together. And it's going to make this pretty, I don't know, like burgundy, purple, I don't know. It's just really pretty. So just circular motions and then bringing that in. Alright, so you have that. Then I'm going to go in with Soba. And you guys all know what that looks like. With a fluffier brush, I'm just the 224. And I'm just going to go right above the Deep Purple and blend that up. So it's not so harsh, because you can see this one's a lot more toned down than that was. So just right over it and up. Then we can add our highlight, and I'm using Naked Pigment. It's just a sample. And I'm going to take a little brush, a little art brush, and I'm just going to really define the brows. So I'm going to take it the highest arch and go right under them. and then just blend down and in the corner of my eyes with the excess. Okay, then I'm going to take a bigger brush, the 252 that I usually use for highlight, and just blend that in. Blend that a little better. Alright, so now I can take off this tape and you have that nice straight line. And okay, then I'm going to take that same little brush and I'm just going to go on the sides of this because it's kind of, the line is harsh for me. So you just go around, and then even if you use a fluffy brush to kind of just blend it all in, it gets better. Okay, so let me go ahead and add my eyeliner and then I'll show you the finished face. Okay guys, this is the final look, but I do want to show you guys how I use High Beam. A lot of you have questions. So as you guys know, it's a liquid and it comes like a nail polish sort of brush. And all I do is I take the brush and I put dots on my face like this. And I do it on both sides. I kind of start like in the middle of my, well, more towards the outer side of parts of my eye. And I just take my fingers and then I just press it. Just dab it. And kind of let it just like soak up into my skin. And just dab it. And that's it. And then you have that pretty kind of sheen on like the highest parts of your cheeks. And that's how I use High Beam. It takes a while to get used to. Because you do have like, you know, makeup on, you don't want to rub it to mess it up. So just tap and then it gives a pretty sheen to your face. So, as I said, this is the final look. Let me take my hair down. What I use for bronzer and contour was Stila's Stila bronzing powder, and it's in shade 2. And then for my cheeks, I used Coralista blush, and it's that pretty peachy color. And then on the apples of my cheeks, like just like the apples part, I use Trace Gold from MAC. Trace Gold. And for lips today, I'm just gonna use a pretty gloss. I'm going to use Kitty Couture from the Hello Kitty collection, Dazzle Glass, and it's that sheer pink color. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!